right, well, let's rock.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, we are honored.
Oh, hello. Thank you for being so inviting to a great moment.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it.
This is going to be so much fun.
I really appreciate you guys taking the time. I know that we're all working and we have personal lives, and the fact that you guys will carve out some time for me, I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, anytime for you.
You
Seriously.
did it for us.
You did it for us.
Appreciate it.
There's no problem to do it for you. Absolutely.
So the three of us are a social media success story, which we've talked about. We talked about on your podcast also, Car Guy Coffee.
Hey, that's us.
Get you some.
Get you some. Brewing Solutions.
So Fred Lenartz and Lou Ramirez have this amazing, amazing podcast called Car Guy Coffee. And I discovered you guys through one of our mutual connections on LinkedIn, which is another success story. And it just has kind of evolved and evolved and evolved since we first met. And when you guys had me on your podcast, I thought I would pay it back to you and have you on my aha moment. And here we are today, full circle.
We're really excited. You know, ever since we did our interview with you, I was looking forward to doing this when we talked about it. So now that the day has come, it's really, really exciting. You know, we had a great time. You're an awesome person. You know, I think you have a lot to give to the world and to people that you know personally too, especially. So we're looking forward to being friends with you for a long time. So this is going to be really neat. I'm looking, you know, we'll see 5 years later, we'll do another interview with each other. And
I love it.
We'll have to show like a replay of all our old ones and we'll laugh, you know, and have a good time.
So I discovered you guys obviously through one of our mutual connections. We were introduced, and I'm so impressed by you both. And I've told you both this, that I find that I don't meet a lot of people like yourselves that are so hardworking. You know, you have your own career, and then you're also out there, you know, creating content, and you're trying to do something really good to benefit the automotive industry and just to people in business in general. And I really admire everything that you guys are doing. And I absolutely love being on your podcast. I can't wait till it airs. And I really enjoy our conversations.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
So, but I'm curious, how did you guys meet? And fill me in on how you came up with this Car Guy Coffee concept for your podcast.
Wow. Okay, so the story of us meeting goes way back. You know, we've pretty much our whole career.
2004.
That's when I met him. He came in the business. I was about almost a year in, maybe a little over a year in the business, and then he came in and he was like one of those hot shots. The moment it came on, made me step up my game. But
from New York.
yeah. You know, obviously he knew how to hustle because he grew up hustling his whole life, you know. So when he came out there, he was just a fast talking guy, but you know, obviously we clicked because he was so funny. You know, one thing about Lou and I, we like to have a good time, and we make everything fun, from selling cars with people from just sitting at the lot talking to encouraging each other every time we have enough. He could literally be in his office closing a customer, and I'll walk by and just do the funniest little dance by the thing, and maybe something a little further, and I won't talk about that. But we used to just do it to try to make them smile. You know, so you just make it a little bit more edgier. But it really worked though, and it was great. Customers, you know, they wouldn't see you. I know it's kind of messed up, and we didn't do that out of disrespect for the customer at all. It was just because we loved each other, and we just like
kids.
We were young.
Kids.
We were kids back then, you know. So it was fun, and we always played little silly games, but it was always a good relationship. I don't think we've ever had like an argument really ever. You know, we may have been like, maybe he tried to take half the deal, and I didn't like it, but but you know what I'm saying? Like, but we were both hungry car guys. Yeah. We're both hungry car guys, and we, you know, and every dollar counted, and you know, it always has. So no, but we always had fun together, and we came up in this business. We worked together, separated, came back. Ultimately, we always end up. It's like a magnet, just came right back, bam, 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 because there was something there. You know, it's like destiny type thing.
We connected on a friend level that was beyond.
Our families connected.
Our families grew up together. Our wives, you know, our relationship, our extended families have connected. You know what I mean? We have memories for years. So this is just it's just family, really. That's all it is. If he ever did get mad at me, he's gonna get over it, and I'm gonna get over it if I ever get mad at him. Right?
But I'll tell him.
It doesn't matter. We pick up where we are. That's fam.
That's the
but
way
you
it
know,
is.
our kids are interweaved together with their relationship. Our sons are looking to
That's
be
so
entrepreneurs
nice.
on their own mission. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So we
Yeah, we
always
got-
had this double dragon and, you know, this Ramirez Lenartz
Rambling. Yeah.
flow to us. You know what I
It's
mean?
like a blossomed bromance.
That's a good way.
It's
That's
a
a nice way of
great
putting it. Yes.
unity of brotherhood.
One,
I
no
love
doubt.
it.
You know what I mean?
Very, very, very awesome.
Yeah,
And
trust me, we get the bromance.
we've had a lot of fun together. We've been called all kinds of different combo names, you know.
You
over
got
the
to you
years.
got to hear what our wives say to us. You know what I mean?
But that's
I mean,
awesome.
but it's great. But back then, I developed a persona of the car guy and made that my entire marketing flow and
There you
way
are.
that I reached out then. He came up with his whole flow, and we continued to learn. And I had to, you know, I kind of pulled away from that and did other things and did management. He did everything from marketing to sales to sales management.
Yeah.
You know, we traveled the country connecting, learning from so many people. We have so many experiences with really great car guys and great car gals
all
that
over the
has
country.
shaped
All over the country.
us as car guys. You know what I mean?
Great
And
people.
and the frequency that we got to learn together and build together and the people we got to meet. And
Mhm.
then, I mean, right there together also made the shift into leadership roles together. You know what I mean? There was so much that we enjoyed that has made us kind of weld this relationship. We've been tested through fire, you know what I mean? And it has brewed out something that is now this podcast. But that's kind of how we met. And then eventually, even still working again together, there was a connection piece that then said, hey, let's do something.
Yeah, you know, for example, like, so all he's telling you, right, you know, we've been back and forth. We worked together in different spots, came together, went to different places. At the end, we're working together for 6-7 years at this dealership that we're at right now. And, you know, this store is an amazing store, great owner. Everything is what you would want it to be if you were somewhere, if you weren't the owner yourself, right? Because he lets us just do our thing there. And, you know, but the thing is like, you know, you're so limited. Like we feel like we have so much to give, you know, I talk a lot about my cup is overflowing. You know, it's constantly overflow, but your cup has to be overflowing to be able to give to people. And so, yeah, it's true. So it's constantly overflowing. So when you're overflowing and you have all that, but you don't have enough people to give, and it's just falling on the floor and it's being wasted, right?
Right.
And you don't realize it. And honestly, it was like a couple years that went by. I almost kind of got a little sad. Like, man, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I don't know if the car business is what I want, but I love it. I've been doing it for so long. Why am I feeling this way? It's because I kind of felt like I was leveled out. You know, it's that, like, that's why I started talking about it. I'm not trying to plug this, but keep growing. And I started thinking about that a lot, you know, and in the last couple of years, I focused on growth, constant growth, whether it was with investments. I really focused on myself. I got selfish a little bit, as they say, not, you know, so much. I didn't like say, oh, I don't like you. I was just like, I'm going to take care of myself and make sure I'm ready. So I got some growth in me. I changed. I got my life, my life portfolios was much better. Everything was better to include my home life, my family life, and my health. And then just, it still felt like it wasn't enough. And then I know that Lou was probably going through a lot of similar things as I'm talking about. But then one day I was sitting there and we just had like our annual boat trip. And it was where our owner, he gets 2 houseboats, takes us to Cumberland. And we have a guy that cooks us breakfast, lunch, dinner,
That's
takes us
amazing.
on fishing charters, and he closes the dealership for 3 to 4 days.
We shut down
Shuts down his whole auto group. Done.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
So
one of
the most amazing things that he does. This is why you can't. How do you leave? How do you not? It's not a job. It's a family, you know, and it's really what it is. And I love him for that kind of stuff. But anyway, we did that. And Lou, I mean, I end up hanging out with Lou quite a bit. We always do. We always hang out. You know, I got tons of selfies with me and Lou.
Hey, man,
right?
what's up?
Me and him, you know, we're on jet skis. We're on, you know, our boat. We're jumping in the back. You know, whatever. We're having a good time. And well, this year we, you know, for some reason it was like, I don't know. I just felt like something, you know, we connected even more. I think we both were at some kind of levels. We had a great time. This was a great boat trip past year. Well, anyway, soon after, I just felt like there was something we need to do. And I thought I need to do a podcast. So the first person I could think of out of everybody I know, and there's a lot of people I know that are really amazing people, but who has the time right now? One, who would be dedicated like me at this, that I know for sure, this guy. So I was like, I'm going to call Lou. So I made my mind up. I give him a call. Say, hey, Lou, man, I I got an idea, and this is an idea I want to do with you. And he was like, what's that? And I said, I want to do a podcast. And he goes, what?
Are you serious?
Man, I got an idea, and I already got the name for it. And I was like, seriously, this is how fast I got the name for it. I was like, what's the name? And he goes, the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. And I was like,
awesome.
I let it sit there for 30 seconds. I was quiet. I let it brew.
Over here.
And I was like, let's do it. So, and then we made a date. We decided to meet up. So a couple days later, we met up. We wrote down everything, and I still got journal and logs of everything I've written. I mean, it's cool because it's the other night, Lou and I, we were sitting here, and I went back and I looked at the very first video we ever made of us just talking, because we did probably 2.5 months worth of just us recording ourselves to see how it was going to be, how many times we say how many times we say folks, guys, we're trying to work on that until we felt comfortable, right? And so we did that, and we perfected it perfected it enough for us to be able to put it out there. But
where I wasn't scared.
We watched the very first one, and I'm gonna tell you, it was funny. We watched that first one, and I'm sitting there, and I'm talking about everything that's gonna happen, and everything that I said did.
That's awesome. I love that.
It's the people that I was gonna interview, crazy. I never even knew them then. Those were people that I was like, man, those are the ones that I want to reach out to and connect with, and it happened. And it's every single one I named off. I didn't remember saying that. So it was really cool to watch that back. It's like a journal. It's really cool to go back and check it out.
You both are so positive, and that's one of the things that was really, I want to say, attracting me to going on your podcast, is because it's so positive. You both have such great energy, and it's all positive to help other people that are within our industry.
That's it.
That's what I love, and it's amazing.
And that's the heart of it, right? So you have somebody like Fred, who's naturally, naturally uplifting, naturally trying to make sure that he's delivering a message that is saying, hey, you're going to make it. We're going to be okay. It's all great. And then you take that also with somebody else that is a little less disciplined in his energy approach, but is still the car guy side, right? Look at him. He's a pretty finance guy, right? He's exactly what you want inside of finance, right? You want to get somebody that's going to wrap that all together, right? And I am definitely going to be all over the place from end to end, into that office, out of that office, everywhere as a car guy, because I'm on this whole other flow, which is where Car Guy Coffee itself, the name came from, was one of my salespeople that's trying to deal with learning how to have this crazy manager with him. He says, man, what are you on? What are you doing? And I'm a short sleeper. I'm just a hyperactive individual, right? My kids were asking, their friends were asking the other day, do you have ADHD like my brother does? And seriously, Sophie's friend asked me the other day. My wife closes the fridge.
I mean, I could tell you, what's so funny about that though, and though he's a little bit more hyped than I am like that.
But it totally is.
But if you ask, years ago, I remember Lou was at home, and Lou told me this story, so I might be saying it a little off because it's been a long time since I heard it. But Lou's at home, and he's doing some goofy stuff, having fun with his kids. And he tells his kids, what other dad would do this?
Fred.
And they're like, Fred.
That's awesome.
It's like, bro, let me, say,
so he calls me and tells me that. Yeah. So, but, so I remember that because it's so true. That's 100%.
And so what is it that we're on, right? We're on Car Guy Coffee.
That's right.
We're on this brewing solution flow that's always trying to find a solution, always trying to find a way to bring that smile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the simplest situation is let something that's just not a smile,
right?
Well, let us brew a solution for that, even if it's some silly way to connect and say, all right, now let's go on with life because now we're better with the smile on. You know what I mean? We've always had that. We bring that to our home. We bring that to our marriages. We bring that to our staff, and we bring that to each other. I mean, I know wholeheartedly that it is different being the person that's delivering the good jobs and the attaboys,
right,
than it is to be receiving it. You know what I mean? I pour my heart into my guys and how to be successful and to believe in them, right? And then, but some of the thoughts and ideas that for me, I don't have any encouragement on. When opening this box, Fred was like, dude, I love it. Him just giving me different encouragement in other spots.
I like to blow his head up.
Anybody.
I mean? I'm like, dude, you're the greatest, Lou. Just keep going. That's awesome.
But everybody does that.
No edit needed, bro. Let's go.
Right, when you have the hype man, you know, back and forth, you know what I mean? You got that Puff Daddy, that Mace, that Method Man.
That's me.
Redman, that's, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
let's go. Take that.
We're having a great time, you know, and but
Yeah.
we know what we're talking about when it comes to the car business. We try very much
He's the
not
greatest.
to talk about what we don't know about, right?
Right.
I'm big in that. I'm very much not the smartest person in most rooms I'm in. I know that, but I do know about what I know about, you know, and
Right.
that's it. That's all I'm going to actually talk about, right? On the Car Guy Coffee podcast, I'll give my opinions on maybe small stuff, but when it comes to what it connects to a human being, I know how to do that.
Yeah,
you know, we know how to
absolutely.
make sure that a person feels what you're saying. You know what I mean? If I can do it at the car lot with a person that is a complete stranger to the darkest inner city at-risk kids and make sure that we penetrate hearts, well, we can do it right here on the internet and make sure that people know that at heart, we want to brew a solution that actually upticks your heart rate like a good cup of coffee. You know what I mean?
It's not kidding.
I like that.
You know,
So I have a question for you. So I'm curious. So you guys are both so positive, and I absolutely love that about both of you. And it's just a great vibe that you have. How do you deal with what I call energy vampires, or people that are around you at work that might not be on the same wavelength as you in terms of the level of your passion and positivity for what you do every day?
Yeah, I do deal with that, and I think a lot of people do.
PPs. Hashtag PPs. Problem percolators.
You know, personally, I talk to them, and I try to still stay positive.
Win them.
Even when they hit me with the negative, I just tell them I understand where you're coming from, because I feel that way too. You know, I do. Here's the deal. I don't care how optimistic, how positive, bad things happen to you. It's just how you don't pay attention to the bad things as much as the good things. The one thing that's for sure, there's a lot of good things happening every day. So first things, every day I wake up, I'm alive, my eyes work, I can breathe. You know, there's so many people who don't have those things working. People don't have lungs working. People who can't even roll out of bed because their back's so jacked up, it's crazy, their knees, they can't walk. So I'm very thankful every single day. First off, that I have that. So that is so easy for me to find all the positive. And I start with that every single day, period. And then I get into my family, then I get into my job. And I think about every salesperson I have, even the ones that are negative. And I find love for them in the morning before I get to work. I have to sit there and go, okay, I know that this guy's going to, one, doesn't know what he's doing. He's this and that. He's going to probably drive me nuts today, but I love him. I'm going to take care of him. And I know that he's not me. One thing that happened to me 6 months ago, like maybe longer, maybe it was 9 months ago, time's flying by, maybe it was a year ago, but something that happened to me back then was I went to this thing and I was having, like slight, issues with work. I was like, man, I was fed up with my salespeople. I was like, God, these guys don't listen. And I was sitting somewhere in a room full of people. And what's crazy enough is that me and Lou were pretty much the ones that everybody was listening to anyway in this room. Because we're both very positive, energetic, have plenty of opinions. So so it's a round table with all these other general managers, sales managers, et cetera, and everyone's trying to get new ideas. And one thing, I always try to get at least one thing from something. I'm like, come on, I got to find something. I got to find something from these guys that's going to help me, even though they're looking at me like to give them. I could find something from them. So I'm listening to all these guys talk, and this one manager, very calm demeanor, and I love that about him. He says, when I train my guys, I have to realize one thing is that they're not all me. They're not all going to be excellent as I feel like I am. Everyone's different. So you have to coach everybody completely different. And I've thought that before, but I thought deeper into it this time. I was like, okay, so I can't expect even to just directly tell them I want this and expect them to make that happen. You know what I mean? I can't assume that that's going to happen. I have to not only tell them to do it, but now I have to understand, okay, with this guy, I have to actually show him how to do it now too. Not just tell him, and if he can't do it, tell him you're an idiot. Even though it's blatant, easy, just you seem like it's a direct, not everybody understands that. So it taught me that you have to have more respect in that level for people and say, hey, look, okay, I'm going to have to take more time with different people than others. Okay, so it really helped me a lot to understand my staff, the people I work with, even people that I'm friends with. So, but it made me feel a little different. So now I coach my guys up completely different than I used to. I used to be more like, boom, if you can't do it, then get out my face. I don't want to hear it. I'd get upset. Now I don't get upset anymore. I just say, hey, listen, man, if you can't figure it out, come to me and let's talk about it. And then we'll get it figured out together. And if you still can't figure it out, then we'll still keep working on it week by week, day by day until we get it right. But if obviously after a certain amount of time, somebody's going to understand, even with all the coaching in the world, if they can't figure it out, that's on them at that point. I've done everything I can, but yeah, it's working great. My guys love me more than they ever have. I'm having more positive feedback. We're selling more cars easier. And honestly, I feel like even though I'm the finance manager, and that's not really the finance manager's title, is to be the trainer, the motivator of the floor. That's what I take. I've taken that role. I've taken that role and I want it.
That's leadership.
Yeah, I love it. And I think that's what I was missing out. But the podcast is allowing us to do this all over the country now. And so now we're able to pass this type of information, this love, information like you had, how you got to where you were at. Because there's a young lady out there thinking, oh, I could never do something like that. Right.
Right.
But if you put the work in and you actually have the heart and you see it and you see the plan and you could really focus on it, you can get there. And like you said, you wrote it down a few years ago that you were going to be the VP of marketing somewhere, right?
Right, exactly.
And look at you now, right? 1 year in and you're doing your thing, and you should be so proud of that. And other ladies and other young people, period, they need to look up to that and see that anything can happen if you put it down and you try to make it happen.
Right, exactly.
But you have to have a path for it, though.
To answer the question, and I'll be very short.
Because I went long, my bad.
I'll be very quick. It is the best way that I can deal with anybody that isn't bringing the same type of brew to me that I'm trying to bring to them. And it's the same thing that we always make sure is first things first. Whether it's a room filled with people, the children, or if it's our sales floor, which we began all of our meetings, all of our actual training sessions with every man preparing themselves to do 3 F's. And that was, and you joined us and you did it with us, that was to forgive, focus, and fly. And as that became the way that I approach anything that doesn't quite look the way that I want it to look, and all of us together now, we then say, well, we forgive whatever it is that's gotten in our way, whatever it is that's trying to hold us down. And we will no longer keep our hands holding us down either. We're going to use those hands to focus with each other, connecting with people.
I love it.
Connecting
That's
on
awesome.
what the problem is. And then we are going to open up and fly and soar to where it is that we ultimately dream to. And the only way that a bird can ever get up and do that is if they forgive themselves for coming down, falling, or whatever, focus where it is they want to fly, and then they fly away. And that's how we approach every day. That's always our first things first.
Right there.
You know what I mean?
That's
how you want to know how you keep growing. Forgive, focus, fly. And
that's right.
An idea of a podcast I wanted to do, because that's the book I'm writing, right? I'm writing the Forgive, Focus, Fly book that I want to make into
I've got another F for you.
Oh, what is it?
Faith. I feel like that's a big one that is tied into your 3 F's.
Yes. Oh, well,
100%.
Definitely. Yes, that's the 4th dimension.
You gotta have.
Come on. Come on. Hey,
I love it.
Can you
so
write?
Good.
Can you write the intro?
I will. Yes.
The intro for that.
Oh,
serious. I'm in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'll be the 2.0, or you know what I mean, of that. Or man, you get. Dang it. I'm over here thinking like. All right. No, but seriously,
this is why we love getting together and talking with people just like you.
Yeah.
You make things happen. It changes, and it can
exactly
completely alter a path that might just, it's an aha moment. Aha.
Exactly.
Aha. Oh my goodness. This was some kind of a moment.
I know. It was an aha moment. So how has the podcast impacted other people that you're working with?
Wow.
Oh, that's well, in short, it's kind of immeasurable because it's still brewing, it's still going, right? It's still creating it, because we're also
just starting
still brewing,
I mean, it's
still
just
creating, right? So there's definitely a litmus test of what our direct exposure to a group of men does. You know what I mean? So it's great to see them, and we encourage anybody, go check them out, go see what it is that our guys are doing. Go see how engaged it is that our dealership staff is trying to make sure that they are out there helping the customer. We want you to see it. We're okay with the views. You know what I mean? Go check it out.
Click.
It's okay to share that. Literally, please share.
We both have really amazing staff. I know Lou loves his staff just like I love my staff at my store, and they're both amazing. I mean, these people are not the typical car guy that you would see at a dealership. I'm telling you, from the way they dress, the way they look, everything, and they do stuff that would blow your mind in towns that would make you go, how are they selling anything in this town? And I'm not joking, and I'm not trying to say we have the worst stores. We have great, like I said, we work at a great place.
Look them up.
We have an amazing time there, and we have a lot of fun, but we're in the middle of nowhere almost. And we're doing record numbers all the time. We have guys that you can, I mean, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to talk bad about my guys. I love them, but the average dealership would not hire some of these guys.
In a different line of work, but to
I love those guys.
Easy about it. We're taking people that would never even be on the path of being inside of this type of an income bracket without a great, crazy switch of events occurring. But because they exposed some certain qualities that were beyond what we were looking for before and your typical car guy or car gal, we noticed that there's a person that at heart can do a very steady, simple function, and we can trust. And that is an element that we often, would even, and that's something that would frustrate me as a manager, is why would I go with this with them if I trust them enough, but I'm going to get some business out of them? I don't want to do that. Let me get this guy that I wholeheartedly trust and I know will do what's expected of them.
Yes.
And then give them a process and then hold them accountable to it, and then see them go, whoa, you know what I mean? What just happened? I made more money last month than I ever made in my life. And the 3 months before that, I did the same thing. You know what I mean? And they're completely shifting their whole scope on life because they showed two different qualities than what we were before looking for. And inside of this day and age, the tools that get placed in front of you are able to help you work this business out in a way that makes you successful, no matter where you came from before. I mean, literally cutting grass for the local sports park to shifting real quick, presenting himself nice on an interview, which is key, everybody. I'm first to come out of mouth real quick, like, whoa.
What are you wearing, dude? Turn around. Are you here for a job for cleanup?
I can't. Oh, well. Can you ask him real quick how you're supposed to dress for this interview? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not.
It's a little different people these days.
They come correct. They try. They put their heart forward and they pour it out there in an interview for you. And you're like, well, man, you can do this function, And in worst case scenario, I got your back if it, the customers loses their mind, you know what I mean? Or something doesn't go according to plan. Yeah. I'm here too. So is the rest of the staff. Let's give you a chance. And they all of a sudden explode. And that is a great victory on all ends, right? For everybody, for the dealership, for the customer's family. That is what we ultimately strive for. Every interview you have is that you're going to see that type of great success with everybody you sit in front of. We've been blessed enough to try a process out that allows us to connect it to almost anybody if they just stay disciplined to simple mathematics and processes and excitement. Just be happy, have fun.
It's
laugh.
Energy. People
put on the mascot.
The key is just being honest with people, giving them your true self as a salesperson. And that's what I try to coach my guys on. Is it's not doing the smoke and mirrors like you're so fancy. Hey, let me show you how to buy a car today. And, I hate when people do that at all, matter of fact to a customer. Instead of just listening and talking to them and then coaching your customer. Hey, man, I understand where you're coming from, sir. People think that's the way you do it, but let me explain why the way I'm going to do it today is a lot better and it's going to save you more time and money. And if you do that with people and you're just honest and you look them in the eyes, it works so much better and they just melt. And they're like, hey, you're right. Thank you, sir. You're so sweet. I'm like, yes, I am. And, but that's, you know what I mean? But that's just that's the key to all of it. And that's what we try to coach with our guys. We try to make them more like problem solvers instead of being.
That's their job. Remember, our guys are car buying coaches but they are not salesmen. They are transportation problem solvers.
I love
is
it.
the full mantra of
That's it.
their approach to what they do.
And they get to help people every day. They don't sell cars every day. They help people
Right.
every day. And
I
that's
love
that's so much more fulfilling every day when you leave work. Whether you make $100 that day or you made $5,000-$10,000 that day, if you solve a problem for somebody, it makes you feel that much better. So it's every opportunity I talk to somebody, I just want to help them. And when you act like that to your customer or to anybody that you deal with in life, that you're there to help, they're always going to feel that way. And then guess what? They do business with you and they want to do more business with you because you're helping them. You're always looking to help. You're not trying to sell them something. So
they have to leave with value. If it's the phone call that you make to set the appointment, they have to leave with value.
Your podcast is helping a ton of people all over the country. At this point, I'm sure you're trending all over the world because everyone is able to see what you guys are doing anywhere. And I love the energy that you guys have. You're so positive. So if somebody wanted to find you, if somebody wanted to connect with you guys, what is the best method to do so?
I'll let Lou drop that right there. Lou knows all the good spots.
You can definitely reach out to us on LinkedIn or on Facebook, whichever one is easiest.
LinkedIn is my favorite place, guys. If you want to get a hold of me, I'm Frederick Subprime Hero Lenartz the third. But if just look for Car Guy Coffee Podcast, we're on there too, and you can find it. I mean, honestly, 2 to 3, 4 posts a day at least.
It is out there.
It's out there just to help. So there's plenty of videos for you to see. You know, there's quick brews every single day, every week. I do a whiteboard quote, and then we have all our lives on Facebook.
Go to carguycoffee.com.
There you go.
You can check us out there. Email us, text us. You can reach us at any side of the whether it's the cafe or it's the Car Guy Coffee page. You just drop a message in there. Just wave to us. Say hi. Drop a video. Say, hey, Car Guy Coffee, we're trying to get a hold of you. It's okay. We'll take the energy. We'll take the excitement. And we definitely want to talk and have a fun brew of solutions with all the people we get with. But yeah, very simple. You can reach out to me, Lou Ramirez, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. But if just search it, guys, Google us. You'll find us.
You'll find me.
Anywhere. If you want to connect to us, you can reach out to us. The place that I would really like for you to check out is the carguycoffee.store. You will receive an email when you go ahead and order that mug.
Very cool.
Solutions with
we do have some products, hats, shirts, stickers.
We'll say hi.
Awesome. Some swag.
Yeah, we're starting, you know, we got some more ideas. Eventually the coffee line will come, so on and so forth. But that's just kind of brewing up right now. It's been there, but we're just trying to build it up. We're trying to build our brand. So it's gonna happen.
I love it. You guys are awesome. I love your vibe. I love your energy. I love talking to you both. And let's do this again soon.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Melanie,
thank you.
Hey, car guys, and everybody out there, can we end this aha moment? Forgive, focus, and flying together?
Ready?
Let's do this on 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgive, focus, fly.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Get you some. All right.
Awesome. Thank you. You're awesome.